Hi everyone, this is Emmy. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet a very easy charm bracelet. So let's get started. To make this bracelet, I used worsted weight yarn. Sometimes I used one strand and sometimes I used two strands. I'm going to leave a long yarn end at the beginning and at the end, and then I just started with a slip knot. I worked a foundation chain that was as long as I needed in order to be able to wrap it around my wrist, which is 8 inches for me. I worked a foundation chain that was long enough to wrap around my wrist. And then I fastened off with a long yarn end. When you use the 2 strands, you won't have to make as many chain stitches, but if you just keep track, you'll be able to make all of them the same. So here's one that I did with 2 strands of yarn, and as you can see, they're both the same length, but I did not need as many stitches when I did the double. And then I passed 2 beads on this one. You can make yourself a needle tool for passing your beads on with either a paper clip or just a little garbage twist tie, and to do that, you simply fold that like that. Then you can just pass it on your beads or your buttons or whatever you're going to use on your strands. Go ahead and make as many strands as you like. So sometimes you can just leave the strand with no beads on it. So on this one I placed 2 beads. When I used 2 strands, I placed 2 beads, and then I added just a little dangle of a bead on here. On this one I have 2 beads, and then I have 3 different little dangles of beads. I have this cute little ladybug, and this is just a bead, paper bead that you can make on one of my tutorials, and I may have some charms that I've made with these. And here's another one, and this one just has the 2 beads, so I'm just going to place that one here. Then I have a strand, and I did not crochet it at all. I just used a single strand, and I filled the strand with beads, so I'll place that one here in the center. And here's another crochet with 1 strand, and I have some beads on there, and I'll place that one there. And I have another one where it's almost all filled with beads, and I'll place that one here. So there you go, you have all your strands prepared. And I have another strand, and it has no beads on it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 strands total. And now I'm just going to take one of the strands from the last section here, and I thread it into a yarn needle, and I'm going to pass through all of these so that I have them in this same order. So just go through all of these. For the single strand, just go through the knot at the end. Pull that through like that. Now they're all attached. I'll just take a couple of stitches here to keep that in place, and then I'll just bring it down with the remainder. I'm going to divide these in half, and I'm going to tie a square knot. And this one is too short, so I'm just going to leave it out. Short one, I can just trim that off. Now I'm going to make another knot, and this will form my buttonhole. So I'm just going to place my scissors in here, and then I'm going to tie another knot like that. So then just make sure your button will slide through that hole. And I threaded another piece of yarn into a yarn needle, and I'm going to go across here in the center. And I'll take a couple of stitches to secure it. And now I'm just going to go all the way across. Just go right through each one of these like that, and then take a couple of stitches to secure it here. Now with my yarn and my needle, I'm going to go through the same as I did for this end, and take a couple of stitches to secure it, and divide this end into 2 different bunches and tie a square knot. I took 2 strands of yarn and threaded them into a yarn needle. Now I can trim these other ones off. I'm going to add a button and then sew it into this section. So now I can just button that up like that. And I have one more charm here, and I'm going to add it right in the center. Like that. And there you have the finished bracelet. And it's buttoned on. If you make it large enough, you can just slide it on without having to button it every time. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed finding out how to make a very cute crocheted charm bracelet. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.